Hello guys, good morning from Plant Reviews, and today I decided to do like a fortnight tour of my most fragrant plants in the garden every 2 weeks, because I realized that the most of the videos including fragrant plants are actually the most watched on YouTube. So I suppose that this is one of the main interests in the gardening world, and I'm glad about it because, as you know, I am really crazy for flower fragrances. Today, so I will start to give like the top 10 fragrant plants of the garden for late May. Today is the 29th of May, therefore May is almost at the end. We are in late spring, and in a few weeks, in a couple of weeks, will be summer. So there's still a few spring blooms around with a beautiful perfume, and still some summer plants flowering already this year, because this year has been unexpectedly warm and sunny. And I will start my video with one of the most unusual fragrances you can get in the garden, the one of the Pineapple Broom. The Pineapple Broom is a plant that I didn't shoot a video yet. I will do in the next few days. I'm waiting for a full bloom. You see there's lots of buds, even if now we are almost done. I think in a few days the plant will be in absolute full bloom. I love this plant because since the first time I saw it in a nursery, when I smelled the flower, I realized it literally smelled of pineapple. It is a complicated fragrance. It's not just pineapple. It's kind of pineapple and mango and olive oil at the same time. It's a very unusual fragrance and absolutely amazing. Is one of my favorite fragrances of all flowers, and this plant usually blooms between June and July. However, it decided this year to start a bit earlier in late May, as I said, probably due to the extreme sunny weather and hot weather. Just below we have the night, a kind of night jasmine, Cestrum parqui, and this is a jasmine that doesn't smell at all during the day, but no, actually smells a bit during the day. It smells like it has very weird fragrance. It's like when you peel the potatoes during the day, very light. However, this kind of fragrance increases at night, and becomes also sweeter. It's a very particular fragrance. I would say not one of the best fragrances I have of the flowers in my garden, but surely it is a particular fragrance. Is the only plant I've ever smelled this kind of fragrance. This is a relative of Cestrum nocturnum. There is the type species for the as a night jasmine, and I found this plant pretty easy to grow in the UK. It's supposed to be not winter hardy. However, it survived also the beast from the east I had about 3 years ago, and it survived really without any problem, because even if the top growth obviously died off in the winter, it sprouted in spring even more vigorous. So absolutely hardy, at least in the south of England. I would still recommend to put it in a sunny spot with well-drained soil, just to avoid any problem of rotting, especially in winter, because water conditions and cold are really killers for most plants. Next, I come around to the most fragrant plants of all the plants I have in the garden at the moment, and this is the pink Chinese jasmine, the Jasminum polyanthum, that has a fragrance that now I can smell it from meters away. Yesterday, when I went out to throw the rubbish in the bin that is about 6 meters far from the fence where this jasmine grows. There was a gentle breeze and I could smell the jasmine even 6 meters away. It is incredible. It's a very sweet fragrance, a lovely fragrance. I am more a fan of a like citrus like or fruity fragrance. This one is very sugary, very sweet, but not like sickly sweet like say for example tuberose has, and even with tuberose really it depends by the taste of people for fragrances. My parents and many friends of mine just love the fragrance of the tuberose. Me, I really can't stand it. It's too sweet for me, really. And anyway, surely the tuberose is another beautiful fragrant flower, but not in bloom at the moment anyway. So if you need to choose just one plant for fragrance in May, I would say definitely go for the Jasminum polyanthum, the pink Chinese jasmine, because it will perfume the whole garden. Next, I have a few irises. Irises have a very nice fragrance. Usually you can't really smell their fragrance from meters away like in a jasmine. However, even if you are around say 1 meter far from the plant, you can still definitely smell a nice fragrance. In particular at the moment I like a lot the fragrance of different irises. This is a beautiful this thing is the All About Town, but in particular I love the fragrance of this iris. That is the Bianca Micheletta, a beautiful bright red iris with a very nice intense floral fragrance that really adds to the beauty and unusual wine red color of this flower. Next, just started blooming. That's the scarlet cup lily, the Turkish cup lily. There is the Lilium pumilum. It has not only it is a beautiful orange lily, as you can see, the flowers are very bright. They can come in bright orange or scarlet, but unlike usually for red or orange lilies, this one is absolutely amazingly fragrant. The fragrance is not as powerful as oriental lilies. Oriental lilies can be basically smelled like meters away from the plant. This one you need to get close to the plant, but the fragrance is nice. I would say very sweet, like chocolate sweet, so it's still very pleasant without being intoxicating. Next, we have a plant that I have already made a video a few days ago, and that's the plant I bought from Madrona nursery. This is the beautiful Calycanthus Venus, beautiful and fragrant. It's almost at the end of the bloom, but I have still some beautiful flowers still open, and the fragrance is one of my favorite. Again, very fruity. Is like a mix of strawberry, banana and raspberry. Very difficult to describe on these beautiful white flowers with a dark red center. It is a fragrance that you can smell about 1-2 meters far from the plant. Surely not as powerful as the Jasminum polyanthum, the pink Chinese jasmine, but still powerful enough to be smelled. You can actually feel the fragrance without actually sticking the nose into it. Continuing about the flowers, well, we have now we are at the very end of the season of the daffodils. These are the last ones to bloom, and that's the Narcissus poeticus recurvus, the poet's daffodils. I have just 2 left. One is almost spent, the other one is already fading away. They have a very nice sweet fragrance, I would say of medium intensity, not as intense as the Tazzetta daffodils, but still very nice. And I've also found peculiarity. This plant smells differently. during at least my bulbs, during the day and during nighttime. At nighttime the fragrance definitely becomes with sweeter notes than during the day. During the day is a mix of spicy and sweet, while at night it becomes mostly sweet. So pretty peculiar in this daffodil. However, other daffodils also might change fragrance intensity throughout the day. I know for sure that a plant that unluckily I don't own, the Narcissus viridiflorus, is a very rare Narcissus, a very rare daffodil from Spain and North Africa. It's a completely green flower with just 1 or 2 leaves, and it blooms in autumn, and it is completely green, and probably due to the fact that it's pollinated by moths, it's mainly the fragrance, you can feel the fragrance only at nighttime, in the evening at nighttime. Continuing with my fragrant plants in the back garden, I will talk, well, now about another beautifully fragrant, beautiful plant and weirdly fragrant flower, that is the Podophyllum. 1 second, I put it a little bit in the sun so you can actually see better the beautiful flowers. They are like bell-shaped and dark red. They smell very weirdly of like incense, spice and sweet. Some people consider it a foul smell. I don't consider it a foul smell. It's a very weird smell, definitely, but very interesting. I quite like the smell of this plant, but surely it's not like the typical fragrance of a jasmine or of a honeysuckle that can fill the garden, and it's universally, almost universally considered a beautiful fragrance. I have then some honeysuckles. Honeysuckles come in different varieties. They can both either fragrant or non-fragrant. Most of them are fragrant. However, it is best when you choose an honeysuckle, try to smell the flowers, because as I said, some can be more or less fragrant, and also most honeysuckles smell better during the evening at night. This one is the Lonicera japonica, and smell beautifully already during the day. It has a white flower. The Japanese honeysuckle is a very nice plant in bloom now. It's not in full bloom, so when it's in full bloom, really you can smell it meters away. This one is just starting the blooming season, but this is definitely one of the best fragrances. It's like citrusy like. It's one of the fragrances I like most. And now I will come at the end about the 2 plants I probably at the moment I love the fragrance most. This is the Tree Lupin, the Lupinus arboreus, the yellow form. This is a plant I didn't do a video yet. I will do it in the next few days. I cultivated this plant from seeds, and I ordered both the yellow and the purple variety. The yellow variety bloomed already last year with just a couple of flowers, so just a couple of months after I planted the seed, but I couldn't detect any smell. At the start of the season also I couldn't detect any smell, so I was a bit disappointed, while just a few days ago, when this plant started to produce more and more flower spikes, I smelled again the fragrance that with which I fell in love the first time I saw this Tree Lupin in a nursery. It was a very big plant, so I decided not to buy it, and also it was covered in aphids as well. And unfortunately, aphids are a nightmare for any kind of lupins, including this Tree Lupin and the Russell hybrids, the wild Polyphyllus, etc. Aphids are just terrible pests for lupins, and also snails. However, the fragrance of this kind of lupin, this yellow lupin, is very fresh. I would compare it to clean washed clothes after they come out from the washing machine, but kind of way better. It's a very fresh fragrance, very nice. This is the yellow form, and actually it's the same fragrance I smelled when in another plant, a yellow Tree Lupin that I saw in a nursery some years ago. About this plant, it's still a Tree Lupin. That's a purple variety. I know that sometimes varieties with different colors can have different fragrances. With this one, I can't really detect any fragrance. It is a nice color. Also, however, the flower spikes are less much smaller than the yellow form. Last year the yellow lupin had also shorter flower spikes, so I'm not too sure if the lack of fragrance in this plant is just again because I have two plants, two purple lupins, survived from 6 seeds, while only one yellow lupin survived out of 6 seeds. And maybe next year we will produce a better fragrance, but unfortunately this year at the moment they are not, the purple lupins are not producing any fragrance. Anyway, if you get the chance to get the yellow lupin, go for it, because it's one of the most gorgeous fragrances you can get. Some people are able to feel this fragrance even meters away from the plants, especially because big plants are completely covered in flowers. Me, not so much. I really have to stick the nose into it, probably because anyway the jasmine fills the garden already with its perfume, so it might overpower the other plants. And well, I will finish now with the plant that I have in the front garden. It is a rose, and personally is my favorite rose. Sorry, a little bit of my indoor plants. And this is the rose I wanted to talk you about, that is Chandos Beauty. Talking about fragrances, well, going back to irises, we have another iris that I love the fragrance, is the poem of Ecstasy. In addition to the beautiful pink and lilac flowers, a very strong floral fragrance. Every time I come around, well, coming in and getting out of the house, I can feel the beautiful fragrance from the poem of Ecstasy. But the rose that I like the most for fragrance is definitely this one. The Chandos Beauty is a hybrid Floribunda Rose, and this is definitely a stunner. You can see already the gorgeous big flowers, pink shell flowers, very nice, and the fragrance is probably the freshest fragrance of any rose I've smelled. Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. It's very difficult to describe. It's like spicy fruit and sweet at the same time, but kind of citrusy as well. And the size of the bloom is incredible. It's bigger than my hand. That's about probably 15 centimeter in diameter, and the color is absolutely gorgeous. You see, it's a beautiful pale pink shell, and it comes with lots of petals, and is also you can see how huge the flower, and the perfume is just incredible. I will make a video about this rose in the next few days as well, but I just wanted to include it among the most fragrant flowers I have in my back garden and front garden, and probably fragrance wise this is the best fragrance I have at the moment in the garden, together with a Tree Lupin, the yellow Tree Lupin, and the Pineapple Broom. I love the jasmine fragrance as well, but it's a bit too sweet for my taste. I love more citrusy and fruity fragrance, so I would say Pineapple Broom, Chandos Beauty, and Tree Lupin are my 3 picks from the month of May, for the period of late May. In early May I would include definitely the Calycanthus Venus. Is a gorgeous fruity fragrance. But yeah, if I have to give a podium flower wise, I would say third place Pineapple Broom, and second place Tree Lupin, and first place the Rose Chandos Beauty. Hope you enjoyed the video about flower fragrances. Please remember anyway that obviously the sensitivity to fragrances, like sensitivity to perfume, is different according to different people. Some people might like some fragrances, some other people might hate it, like me with the tuberose. Most of the people I know just love it, and me, I can't stand tuberose. So again, the best way to choose a fragrant flower is really smell it and see if you like the smell or not. Also try to smell the flower at different periods, in different times of the day and the night. If it is possible, obviously it might not always be possible if the flowers are in shops, because obviously shops are usually closed at night. But yeah, if you get the chance to have a friend that has fragrant plants or they are around the fence, yeah, try to have a sniff in different periods of the day, so you can actually appreciate the flower, the fragrance intensity, how it varies throughout the day. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll see you next time. If you'd like to support this channel, would be great if you can please subscribe, and obviously any comments is more than welcome, both positive or negative, or any inquiry you might have to ask me. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.